What's up, tribe? What's up, tribe? This is going to be your review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 7, Episode 14. Okay, so look. This episode was but it was a good because everybody was having a good time and it was fun after we got past the bullshit and the drama. So we start off at the campfire where Estelita is trying to get hype on Sierra and they going back and forth, and Sierra Estelita was like, "You ain't even about that life, Sierra. You ain't really trying to do this, da 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 da." And you know what? Sierra did probably one of the most mature things. Sierra said, "You know what? You're right. I'm not about that life. I'm a businesswoman, and I'm tough. I'm done trying to play tough. You right. You right. You got it." And I think it made Estelita feel real stupid because in that moment, you never really fuck around with somebody who has less to lose than you. And in this situation, Sierra, you have more to lose than Estelita. I know it's a TV show and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and it's not going to get ridiculous. But at the end of the day, you are a business owner. You do have a family. You do have a brand. People in Atlanta know you for your talent, for your brand. As the leader, you have no fucking talent. You have no brand, and you begging for airtime on this show. And I think at that point, it really took a lot of wind out of the whole argument. And then BK, he kind of apologized or whatever. He was like, that's just not how I really go rock at women like that. And I apologize. I was out of character. And Estelita was like, yeah, because you was throwing around a whole lot of B words and stuff like that. And BK was like, I didn't call you a bitch. He was like, I called you a lot of things and I apologize for that, but I didn't call you a bitch. So, of course, VH1 rolled the tape back where BK did call her a bitch. Here's the thing. I think he really doesn't think he called her a bitch. I think he was caught up in the moment. He was mad. He was probably throwing shit out his mouth and B came out. It just came out. Estelita talking about some, yeah, whatever. I mean, she didn't say this in the crowd. She said this in her confessional. That's alright, because when I get back and Stevie finds out about it, he's not going to be happy. Bitch, Stevie don't give a fuck. Do you think Stevie care about that man calling you out your name? I promise you he don't. Now, he might pretend like he does for the purposes of the storyline, but I promise you he don't. Anyway, but then Rashida sort of put her little 2 cents in, and she was like, you know what? I brought all of y'all here so we could kind of just have a good time, get to know each other, squash whatever beef. She said, but, everybody here knows that me and Kurt been going through some shit. And his mother passed away. And at that point, I had to make a decision that I was going to put all of this shit aside because there was something bigger going on. She said, and we put a lot of stuff aside. We opened up a new store. We kind of finding our way back to each other. And in that moment, you kind of saw everybody be like, damn. Like, it makes you feel real stupid when you start talking about what's really important and why are we sitting here arguing over this bullshit that don't mean nothing. And so everybody just agreed to just say, look, let's fuck it. Let's have a good time. Let's get along for the rest of this trip, and let's just do the damn thing. And they do. They absolutely do. There's no more beefs. There's no more bullshit. A couple of more conversations go on. We'll get to that. But it ended up being a really good trip. And you could just see from the footage that they are just having a good time. They're being silly. They're being fun. They're really enjoying each other's company once they stop being angry. And that's a lesson in life. When you stop being angry, you probably realize you can have a lot more fun with things. Then we get to something really, really serious. They have Tommy. They address the drinking. They have her speaking to a substance abuse coach. And, excuse me, whenever you're dealing with substance abuse, the last person that's going to admit that they have a problem is the person that has the problem. Everybody else sees it before them. Family, friends, work, neighbors, whatever. Everybody sees the problem before they see the problem. And that's what we're dealing with Tommy. Unlike this bullshit storyline on Real Housewives of Potomac, we're dealing with someone who I think really does have a genuine drinking problem because and now your drinking is putting you in a position where, one, it's gotten you into legal problems, financial situations. You about to lose a really good job. behind it. If you follow her on Instagram, she got a lot of brands that she gets paid to push on Instagram. I know that's not a big deal to some people, but if that's how you make your money, that's how you make your money. And it's legal money. You know what I'm saying? And so they're talking to Tommy about, they said that a lot more happened beyond what we even saw or what we heard, because we really didn't see a lot. We did hear some things, but they said a whole lot more went on beyond that. And they really had to be, they suspended her from taping, but they didn't want to totally fire her because she makes money. She's a popular character. I don't keep saying character, but a popular personality on the show. But they told her from now on there's no more drinking. And she she cries, and she talks about how she has a lot on her, and the problems with her family and things of that nature. And I'm not sure how I received that whole scene. Like, I feel for Tommy in one aspect, but then in another aspect I feel like everybody else is not wrong, Tommy. This is not the first time somebody's told you had a drinking problem. You know your personality is different when you're drinking. You know that you're drinking to cope. That is like textbook definition. And she said, well, by nature I'm a shy person, so I drink so that I can be more sociable. There's a scene later on where she's with her sister, Versace. Now, earlier in the season, Versace couldn't even come across the threshold before you was trying to fight her and throw shit at her. But because you were sober, you were in a totally different headspace. And y'all were able to actually have a conversation and apologize to each other, which is all your mother's been trying to get you to do from the beginning of the damn season. But something in that conversation that did hit me. She was talking about her mother's health problems. But then later on in the episode, when she's talking to her mother, it seems like it's something new. Her mother's just telling them. So I don't know if Tommy, her mother said she's been not feeling well for a while but kept it to herself. I don't know if it's something Tommy picked up on and knew there was more going on with her mom. Sounds like the doctors think she may have a type of cancer. She didn't confirm it. She didn't want to put it in the universe, but with the type of test that she was having, it sounds like that's what they're testing her for. But I pray that that's not it. And, definitely don't want to put nothing out there that's not true. But that scene, again, I don't really know how I feel about that scene. It hit me kind of a certain kind of way because I've dealt with substance abuse in my family, and it is hard, especially when the person doesn't want to admit they have a problem. But we'll see. We'll see what Tommy's able to do sober for the rest of the season. We'll see. I think it says a lot that the show didn't want to fire her. I think it says a lot that the show brought in somebody to talk to her. It seems like they're really trying to help her. And even if they have selfish reasons for trying to help her because she is a moneymaker for the show, it doesn't matter. It seems like they're still trying to help her. And for that, I can give some kudos to a certain extent. All right, I'm not going to dwell on that. The next scene we see is another scene. They're getting ready to go horseback riding. And Spice already told him she wasn't going horseback riding. She said that is animal abuse. I'm not putting my ass on no horse. Spice, I hear where you coming from, boo, but horseback riding is fun. And I'm a big girl, and I've always loved horseback riding. It is a really, really fun experience. But with that being said, we see them all getting ready to go horseback riding. Now, look, from the very beginning, you saw that Sierra was afraid to get on this horse. Animals pick up on fear. They feel it. They know it. They know when you are not sure and you don't feel like you are in command. Now, Sierra said she felt like the horse was doing its own thing all along, and she felt some kind of way about that horse from the very beginning. The horse ended up taking off, and she ended up having to be, taking off the horse. The horse kind of did its own thing. That's really the only eventful thing that happened. But I just feel like the horse felt your fear, and they kept telling her like she had the reins way up here. A horse doesn't feel that. Like, the purpose of the reins is for you to pull. You can't see my hands, but to pull and guide the horses. When you got the reins way up here, the horses don't feel that. They're not getting a command from you, and so yes, they do sort of do their own thing. Now that's not to say that horse might not have been in a mood that day, because they're animals. They have personalities just like the rest of us. Hell, might not have wanted nobody on his back that day. Who knows? But I do feel like that horse sort of knew Sierra wasn't in control and Sierra was unsure and decided to, take its own trip. But the other thing we saw, which Tokyo, oh my God, I love Tokyo. Oh, I love her so much. I just want to run into her one day and give her a hug. I love her so much. But we see where Tokyo talks to Erica, and I actually liked Erica in this moment, right? Erica went to go talk. Tokyo decided that since she wasn't gonna go horseback riding, she was gonna hook up with the cooks, and she helping cook dinner. She said that's her way of sort of apologizing. She's gonna help cook dinner. This their last, excuse me, it's their last dinner of the trip, and she wants to help cook. That's her contribution, and her way of just apologizing for how everything went down early on. So Erica goes to check on Tokyo just to make sure that she is good, that everything is everything. And they have a really, really good conversation. It really brought tears to my eyes because Tokyo says, look, I was that kid. I had some things in my childhood, and when I get mad, all of that comes out. And when I'm ready to fight or when I'm mad like that, I'm not mad just at the situation. I'm mad at everything that has ever happened to me. I totally understand because for a long time, that was me. I was an angry, angry child. And I don't even think, well, I know because I suspect that Tokyo's trauma, because she talked about some things happened to her and she connected it to why she's still a virgin, which leads me to think that there was some deal of some sort of molestation or some sort of sexual trauma. Because she said that, she said a lot of people don't understand that about me. She said, I was that child that fought in school, that got put out of school, had to go to alternative school, whose mama was trying to put him in, foster care, a group home or whatever. She said, I was that kid. And people don't understand how hard I worked to work on that anger. And so when stuff like that happens, it just takes me back, even though I'm trying to really not be that person. And then she talked about the fact that she was a virgin. And I love the fact that Erica Mena was one of the few people that applauded that instead of trying to act like something was wrong with her because she was a virgin. Erica was like, what? She was like, that is great. That is a wonderful thing, especially in 2018. And I love you for that, Erica. I love you for that. And Erica went on to say, Tokyo said, it's not because I'm waiting to get married. It's not because it's a religious thing. She said, it's just that some things have happened in my past that I am not comfortable around men. That leads me to think that there was some sort of sexual trauma with her. And so that's why I said I didn't have that with me, thank God. But I was angry. I had different reasons to be angry that I don't need to get into now. But I understand it, though. I do, Tokyo. I understand you, boo. I do. I may not have had every single experience that you had, but I understand the anger and it coming out at times that you don't want it to come out because you've held it in so long that when it bursts, the dam just bursts. At a certain point, the levees just break and the dam just bursts. I'm sorry, that probably wasn't the best analogy to use, and you from New Orleans. I apologize, but Erica even said to her, Erica said, look, when I was 23 years old, I wasn't dealing with it well. I was doing what I was doing. She said, I dealt with molestation. She said, is it something you want to talk about? And Tokyo said, no. She was polite about it, though, but she said, no, it's something I'm not ready to talk about right now. She said, but it does have a lot to do with where I am. And Tokyo said in her confessional, I feel like Erica's really being sincere. She said it means a lot that she came to check on me. I'm about to tear up, y'all. I'm really not this big of a punk, but I just felt that moment just felt so sincere to me. It really did. It really, really did. Now, the producers may have sent Erica in there to have the conversation, but I felt like the conversation was sincere, And so anyway, so they hug and that kind of thing. Now the messed up thing though is they never show us the dinner. Like we see Tokyo making the cornbread and Tokyo in that kitchen, right? She is getting it. But they don't show us the dinner for whatever reason. I'm sure they filmed it and decided nothing really probably popped off that they thought they wanted to show us. But anyway, I would have loved to see just seeing everybody's reaction when they saw that Tokyo cooked the meal or helped cook the meal. You know what I mean? But anyway. So then we see Carly and Jock have a moment. And they get to flirting and all that good stuff. And Carly, they holding hands and all of that. And Sean Garrett is like, Carly really trying to make me jealous, but I don't care. I ain't tripping. Yes, you are, because you talking about it. I mean, if you ain't care, the producers may have asked you. I don't know, but if you ain't care, you wouldn't be talking about it. Now, I'm not saying you care enough that you want to get back with Carly, but Carly and Jock just got something. I ain't saying they're going to live happily ever after. They may just be frenemies for the rest of their life, but they definitely have some sort of something. They got something. But that's what they did. And Jock even said it's just good to be back on a good terms with Carly, that we not snarling. And Carly was like, we were just kind of going through something. Jock was like, no, I think you were going through something with me, because I didn't have no problems. Like, that was all you having an issue with me. But anyway, that was a moment. Then we see the bullshit. I'm starting to feel like Alexander Rogers. I have no fucks to give about Jasmine and her storyline. I just don't. But I'm going to go through it real quick. Jasmine gets back home. She gets a phone call from Kelsey, Kurt's daughter. And basically, Kurt called her from Texas to tell her what happened with the pop-up. So she wants to talk to Jasmine about it. Why would you do that, Jasmine? Why are you going to pop up? Like, what's that about? I just wanted to apologize to Rashida because I feel like I owe her an apology. Kelsey, well, I just think that you just need to understand that, my dad is not a deadbeat, but the way Cannon came into this world, came into this world, you just got to understand that it's just going to take some time, and you want stuff to happen fast, and, he's at home trying to fix his house, and you got to just understand that, Jasmine. But this is his son, and he's part of the family, and it hurts that he don't spend time with his son. Like, that was the conversation. So then Kelsey was like, well, can I meet him? Like, I'm here. Can I meet my brother? They meet. They play around. She loves her little brother, and she was like, I'm here for him. No matter what, I'm his big sister. All right, yay. Moving on. Then we see another scene with Jasmine and Tierra. King bad as shit. He out in the streets defecating on the neighbor's lawn because he don't want to come inside and use the bathroom. She talking about how she really needs a father figure and how hard it is to do this on her own. But KK wants to spend time, and should she let KK spend some time? And Jasmine is like, yes, I think you should. I saw on Instagram that Kurt lost his mother, and Kanan will never meet his grandmother, and life is just short. And if she wants to spend time with him, you should just let him go. That's all that was about. Oh, and Scrap Ass ain't coming home no time soon. I think next summer, I think. But anyway. Is it July 2018 or July 2019? Anyway. After the filming of this show. Back at the ranch, they're line dancing and all that good stuff, having a good time, and Sierra goes to talk to Carly, and Sierra was like, look, I was really not happy with you the other day. You know what? I apologize. When they were line dancing, they did eat dinner. I guess I was expecting a bigger, Tokyo helped cook type thing, but they did eat dinner. And so that's when Sierra went over to Carly to talk to her. And she told her, look, I really wasn't feeling you. I really didn't appreciate how that whole thing went down. Why would you tell Spice that Tokyo said fuck her? And Carly was like, because that's what she said. Now I understand that that's just how that's how Tokyo talks. But I really wish she said, Tokyo wasn't rocking with me at that time. She was mad at me. She was mad at Spice. And she was just like, fuck you, fuck Spice. And that's what I said. She said, fuck me and fuck Spice. Now I understand that is just how she talks. And for future reference, that's how I handle it. Like, it is what it is. And then she asked about her dad, and Carly was like, well, it is what it is, but I wish you would check on me more. You hooked up with BK and you forgot about us and blah, blah, blah. And here come BK. I know y'all talking, but can I have a moment with her? Sure. BK takes her outside, and it was corny but cute. This mofo, he done wrote up I in tea lights, the little tea lights, heart with rose petals inside of the heart, you on the sidewalk. And he was like, I really love you, and I need you to understand that, I miss you, and I want to be with you, and as soon as that divorce is final, can we just see if we can work this out? And Sierra was like, this is all cute and all, but you can't, I just want you to understand that you can't just make these grand gestures and just think that I'm just going to fall back in line. Like, what you did was messed up. You out here with dotting and bopping with all these other people. And, I just can't do that. The situation I came out of. I'm just not trying to be hurt again. But they ended up in bed together that night, so I guess it did work. It did work. Kirk and Rashida ended up in bed together too. I mean, if you gonna forgive him, forgive him. Yeah, I ain't got no heaven and hell to put nobody in. You know. But that's pretty much how the trip ended. You saw Spice teaching the cowboys how to twerk. She said, y'all taught us how to do y'all dance, now I'm gonna teach you how to do our dance. And she's teaching them how to twerk. And of course it's funny, a bunch of stiff white people trying to twerk is always a fun time. And so there was that. And then they all get on the bus and go home the next day. Spice went back to Jamaica to see her family, her kids. They said her kids. I ain't even know Spice had kids. Not that I'm surprised by that. She's a Then Kirk and Rashida were leaving later. Erica had already left for an earlier flight. Everybody else gets on the bus to go home. Last but not least, we see Karen King with her son. They're talking. He's like, I just want to check in on you. I know you always trying to play gangster, but I know this whole thing with Scrap really got you upset. So tell me, how you feeling. And she's telling him, look, I just want better for our family. Like, I've done it all. I've done it all. I've done the legal to the illegal, but I just want the next generation to be in a better situation. And I just want to be a better grandmother, the whole blah, blah, blah. So he walks her down through the park and come to find out King is there. So and I think she's genuinely happy to see him. Earlier on in the season, I wasn't sure if it was genuine or if it was a storyline. You know what I'm saying? But I think she is genuinely happy to see her grandson. She said she hasn't seen him in 2 years and she misses him. And they have a moment. They do. They have a really genuine moment. And so she said, I don't know what made Tiara change her mind, but I'm just glad she did. I'm just enjoying spending time with my grandson. Cool. Last but not least, I know I said that was last, but for real, this is the last thing. We see Tommy with her mother and her sister. I already kind of gave y'all the rundown on that, but Tommy shares with them that production thinks she's an alcoholic. And, her mother says, well, Tommy, it runs in the family, and you have to be really careful. When it already runs in the family, you have to be really careful about it. So Tommy says, well, I mean, how do you feel when people call you an alcoholic? And I think Tommy expected her mother to kind of be like, well, I'm not no alcoholic, so, I don't really appreciate. I think that's kind of what Tommy thought her mother was going to say. And then her mother said, you know what, sometimes I do think I'm an alcoholic. And Tommy was like, really? She said, yeah. She said, when I'm in bed and I feel like I can't get out the bed without a drink, or I feel like I can't go to sleep without a drink, she said, yeah, I feel like I have a problem at that point. And I just want better for you. I don't want you to, and that's when she started talking about her health, because she was saying that when she first started feeling bad, she just connected it to the alcohol and thought that's why she wasn't feeling well. And then when it, I guess, got worse or what have you, then that's when she went to the doctor. And so I think I don't think that's going to make Tommy change 360, but I think that might have gave Tommy something to think about. Because again, Tommy just doesn't think she has a drinking problem. Like, that's really the bottom line. She does not think she has a drinking problem. So anyway, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. And y'all have a good evening. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think.